At the beginning of 2018, my son, Blaze Bernstein, was home for his winter break from the University of Pennsylvania, where he was a pre-med major. He was in his second year, and he made contact with someone over the internet who he had interacted with when he was in high school. Blaze was murdered the night that he met up with this person in a park by our home, and his body was discovered about 10 days later. After that happened, the man who he was with that night was taken into custody, and he's been charged with a hate crime against my son. My son was gay and Jewish.
Speaking on behalf of law enforcement in the county, we take hate crime very seriously because we understand that these are crimes that, yes, they're targeting one individual and can be very traumatic for that individual, but at the same time we know that hate crime has an impact on the entire community, and it's very important that we demonstrate just how important it is that we support these victims by doing the most thorough investigation that we can and being as compassionate as possible in these situations.
To me, hate is a manifestation of fear and pains when we really unpack the layers of hate. And to me, hate comes in the form of hurtful language, insensitive words, disrespect toward one another, and it makes us forget that, at our core, we're all the same.
If I'm thinking about what hate is, obviously the first thing that comes to mind is the opposite of love, right? When you think about the way that we treat and behave towards one another, hate is often looks and feels very antagonistic. It's very oppositional. It's mean-spirited. It can be targeted towards a specific group of people, whether it's race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation.
When we talk about it in terms of not liking other people that are different than you, when we talk about hate, we're talking about a very extreme example of not liking other people, to the point where you are willing to go out of your way to make someone who you dislike, that you hate, make them feel like they are less than human, and to marginalize them and exclude them from our world.
Bias, I think, is the seed that, if left unchecked, grows into hate. And so when we have biases, it closes off a piece of our mind, and we have this misconception that is often the cause of fear, or the lack of knowledge, those misconceptions, which grow into hate. So it's essentially the seed.
I think bias is related to hate very closely, because I think bias is something that you learn, and hate is an action of that bias that you've learned, that you have.
I think that on the student level, we're in a really special spot because we're receptive, and at a younger age, I think you're more open-minded, and so really taking advantage of that in a good way. I think that's how we can really address this issue, especially on that student level. And I think student to student, we have to be courageous enough to tell each other when we think something is wrong, when we think something is right, and engage each other civilly in order to solve those problems.
As a site principal, there have been times where we have been vandalized when we've come to work. Things that appear to be hate motivated, where it's a swastika or it's a symbol of like the KKK, something that clearly one could perceive as motivated by hate. So even though those things happened, we see this as an opportunity to make it a teachable moment, to really revisit with our students about what it is that occurred, how it made us feel, and we can use that as an opportunity to leverage a campaign against hate or a kindness initiative. So we try to leverage those unfortunate situations of hate or acts as opportunities to really promote awareness for kindness and love and the good things we want in our world.
So one of the first things that we did when my husband and I realized that we had a platform and that we had the ability to get our story out there and to perhaps get people moving towards positivity, we started using the catchphrase, blaze it forward. And it stuck. And it's been really something that has been transformative for so many people. My husband started a Facebook group called #BlazeItForward. And people that have joined that group, and there are over 25,000 people now that are part of that, they are doing incredible things every day. Not random intentional kind acts, but intentional kind acts nonetheless. They are doing things for people all over the world, and they're reporting what they do and giving other people ideas about what they can do in their communities to change the rhetoric.
So I originally got involved with the Human Relations Ambassadors program my freshman year of high school, and been with the program for 2 years, and I was really appreciative of that safe space for my peers and I to have open discussions about controversial issues and to come up with solutions and to bring those solutions back to our school. I thought that it was a really necessary and awesome space to be in.
You know, I think I've been working with Orange County Human Relations for many, many years, since I was a principal at Sycamore and at Savannah. And at every place, they become part of our family on our campus. And as we've developed our Bridges programs and we do our events to really help our students and bring our school together, they've been pretty powerful. Recently, we've had OC Human Relations staff at some of our junior highs. And again, you know, it was very intentional for us from the district to ensure that the school sites brought them in, made them part of the campus, made them part of the staff, to really understand the dynamics and the culture of the school, because we know they're going to be more effective if one, the students trust them, and if the staff understands them as well. And so for us, they have really made a huge difference in terms of not only helping our students with conflicts, but also helping our staffs understand, how do you do this? How do you do restorative circles? How do you do, you know, and have these difficult conversations? And so they have been very instrumental in supporting a positive school culture on every single one of our campuses.
We know that we have to do something about this, this pervasive feeling of that it's okay to be bigoted in here in Orange County. This is a diverse place, and there's no room for that. And as parents of a child that was murdered in a hate crime, we are set on and bent on making a difference. And that's what we're going to do with the time that we have left. We're going to use it to try to repair what we can of this world. And we're starting here in Orange County.